How did my husband turn my enemy? I still remember the day I married him. Not the dress, not the pictures, not the applause. What I remember is the way I trusted him. Fully, openly, without fear. I remember thinking, this man is my safe place, my partner, my covering, my home. I never imagined I would one day ask myself this question in the quiet of my heart. How did my husband turn my enemy? It didn't happen suddenly. That's the part people don't understand. Enemies don't always arrive with noise. Sometimes they arrive gently and sit beside you on the same bed. At first, it was small things. Conversations that stopped halfway, affection that became occasional, care that slowly turned into indifference. I noticed it, but I ignored it, because wives are taught to adjust, to endure, to pray harder. So I did. I learned how to love quietly, how to sacrifice without applause, how to give without being asked, how to support without being supported. I became the one who understood everything, the one who apologized first, the one who kept the peace, and slowly, I became the only one fighting for us. That's when something inside me began to crack. There is a special kind of loneliness that exists only inside marriage. It's not the loneliness of being alone. It's worse. It's the loneliness of being with someone who no longer sees you. I would sit beside him and feel invisible, speak and feel unheard, cry silently so I wouldn't be called dramatic. And the most painful part? The person hurting me the most was the person I defended the most. I made excuses for him to everyone.
He's just stressed. He didn't mean it like that. He's trying.
But late at night, when it was just me and my thoughts, I knew the truth. The man who once protected my heart was now the one bruising it. Not with fists, but with neglect, with words said carelessly, with loyalty that shifted. Betrayal doesn't always come as cheating. Sometimes it comes as choosing everyone else over you, as laughing outside and being cold at home, as listening to strangers and dismissing your wife. Sometimes betrayal is realizing that your pain no longer matters to the person who vowed to protect you. That realization almost broke me. I began to question myself. Am I too needy? Am I asking for too much? Is this just how marriage is?
Society didn't help. People told me to be patient, to submit more, to pray harder.
So I prayed. God knows I prayed. But there were nights I prayed with tears running down my face, asking God questions I was afraid to say out loud. Why does love feel like punishment? Why does marriage feel like a battlefield? Why does the man who vowed to be my covering feel like my opponent? Something dangerous happens when a woman starts to feel unsafe emotionally in her own home. I stopped sharing my thoughts. I learned how to survive, not how to live. And that's when I realized something terrifying. I was no longer married to a partner. I was married to someone I was constantly defending myself against. He wasn't my enemy because he hated me. He was my enemy because he ignored my humanity, because my tears annoyed him, my needs inconvenienced him, my silence pleased him. And that truth hurt more than anger ever could. There was a moment, I remember it clearly, when I looked at myself and thought, I am losing myself trying to save this marriage. That thought shook me, because I had always believed that sacrifice was love. No one told me that sacrifice without care turns love into self-betrayal. I didn't leave that day. This is not a dramatic story. But something in me changed. I stopped blaming myself for everything. I stopped spiritualizing emotional abuse. I stopped confusing endurance with virtue. I began to see clearly, and clarity can be painful. I started asking myself different questions. Who am I becoming in this marriage? Why do I feel like I'm at war in my own home? When did love turn into survival? Those questions didn't destroy me, they saved me. I realized that my husband didn't wake up one day and become my enemy. He became my enemy the moment my pain stopped mattering to him, the moment my voice became a nuisance, the moment my heart became collateral damage. And I realized something even deeper. I had also become my own enemy by staying silent for too long. Healing didn't come quickly. It came quietly, through honesty, through boundaries, through learning that choosing myself did not mean I failed as a wife. It meant I refused to disappear. This story doesn't end with perfection. We are still human, still learning, still imperfect. But I am no longer at war with myself to keep a marriage alive. And if you are listening to this, married, single, healing, or afraid, I need you to hear this clearly. Love should not feel like an enemy camp. Marriage should not feel like constant defense. And silence should never be the price of peace. If your husband feels like your enemy, pause. Not to judge yourself, not to panic, but to listen to your body, to your spirit, to the woman you are becoming. Because sometimes the most important question isn't, how did he turn my enemy? It's this: when did I stop choosing myself? And what will I do now that I see? This is not the end of my story. It's the moment I finally told the truth. And sometimes, that's where healing begins.